What is happening, comic book fans? Welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0 and fans. I'm your host, Mike Spider Slayer, helping you make decisions of what comic books to buy. And you guys are live with me. This is after the poll. This is episode 10, and it's titled, Are Secret Identities Outdated for Modern Comics? We'll talk about that in a little bit. I want to welcome you guys to the show. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I think it will be a really great show. And yeah, guys, you know, Christmas is around the corner. I said that in the past couple of videos. Same with Hanukkah. And it's kind of like, are you guys ready for this? I mean, can you believe that it's actually the end of the year already? And we're going to do all this comic stuff all over again. It's kind of insane, actually. So who's on the show so far? I want to welcome everyone to it. And let's see. We got Andrew, first comment of the day. Some really awesome books. That's sweet. Tevia says hello. Coffee Breath is on the show. He says, what's up, y'all? Moses Chavez says, no Spider-Verse. No, actually. I hated that first issue. I did not like it. Maybe it's better second issue. If you want to put that in the comments below, make a suggestion for me. I've been known to go back to series. Next is It's Hero Time. 1234 joins the show. Hey, Room. Hey, Mike. Excited to talk about Red Mother and Others. Yeah, that book was crazy, dude. Next, Moses says, what's that, a surprise release or what? Again, that is Red Mother. That's a book done by Boom Studios. We will be talking about that later on. Coffee Breath says, yep, Red Mother was great. And Hero Time says, lucked out and got the one per store copy. Which one was the one per store copy? Was that it? Or was that the eyeball one? Because the one I got was the eyeball one. And I'll show you in case you guys were not familiar with that. Was that this one? This was the book I wound up getting. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's like all white and everything. Next, we have Moses' Seems Like It. Okay. And fashionably late only. Vinny joins, probably fighting with his neighborhood about the lawnmower. Yeah, I couldn't find my mouse. I was like, where's my mouse? I can't find it because it makes it easier to navigate through the show because I use my Chromebook and I was like, I need that mouse. And I went digging in the living room. So that's why I was like late for the show. So yeah, Coffee says that was the one he got too when it comes to that. And Kirsty or Carrick 2001 is on, says, what's up? So yeah, guys, we're going to have a great show today. Here's the books that we're talking about in case you haven't seen it on the thumb. We're going to be talking about Annihilation Scourge, Better Ray Bill and Silver Surfer issue 1. We're going to be talking about Captain Marvel issue 13. Not sure if you guys are reading that. Superman issue 18, Secret Revealed. The Red Mother issue 1. Symbiote Spider-Man, Alien Reality issue 1. And Batman Curse of the White Knight, book 5. And then we're going to be talking about X-Force issue 3. So I got in a couple extra books this time around. I didn't have to teach tennis this morning. It was raining this morning. And I was like, oh, great. I can catch up on some reading. So I was able to read a couple extra books on there. So, yeah. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. So at any point, guys, like I said in the past, if you want, please, if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Also like the channel. So this helps get the channel out there to the other people. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell, guys. That's really important. So you know that these shows actually go live, right? And last but not least, if you guys are ever, you know, up to doing it, if you want to send a donation to the channel, that will help the channel grow as well through the super chat down below. Any amount helps, and if you're entitled, if you want to do that and you're in position to do that, that's awesome. And everything helps, every little thing, whether it's a like, a subscribe, a share, any of that stuff. So again, guys, I really appreciate it. Means a lot. All right, so here we go. wasted enough time. Let's talk about the comic books, and then let's talk about our topic of the day once we get to that Superman topic as well. So again, the first books we're going to be talking about today is Annihilation Scourge. This is Beta Ray Bill and Silver Surfer. These guys are one-shots. Any of you guys reading that book out there? I'm just very curious if you are. This was really cool because it ties into that Annihilation Scourge book, and we're getting all these different heroes that are in the cosmic universe, and they're dealing with the Cancerverse or this void in their own way, okay? And then what's going to happen is they're going to meet in the very final issue of, I think it's called Annihilation Scourge Omega. I think that's the last issue of this whole thing. And it's not a big series. Yeah, here it is. So it's Omega right there. So that will be the last one where all of these heroes that have been dealing with the Cancerverse and the Revengers and all that kind of stuff will actually be in that final book. And I'll start off with this Beta Ray Bill one. So when it came to this particular issue, first of all, the artwork was absolutely gorgeous in this book. You got great two-page spread here right from the opening start. And if you miss Beta Ray Bill, you get to see him here and at his finest. And it's so well done. And we get to see him try to protect this race against this this virus, this Scourge virus, this void that is coming after this planet. And he winds up doing that. He winds up sending everything back. And then what happens in the end, though, he had to sacrifice his hammer. And he wound up becoming the alien being that he actually once was. And he looks completely different. And then he also finds out that Sentry is obviously behind this whole situation of the void and the Cancerverse and everything else out there. But at the end of the day, he also, he teams up with Lockjaw, and he's going to try to see if he can get his actual hammer back. So, yeah, it was a good book. Again, it all kind of is going to tie together at the end. So I'm looking forward to it. And then when it came to Silver Surfer, tying into Scourge as well, I thought this book was really well done too, because what this book does is it continues the Silver Surfer's journey from him being from Silver Surfer Black. It's not like Silver Surfer Black ended and that was the end of it and now he's back to the regular Silver Surfer. No, he's still Silver Surfer Black. And based off of what happened in that series where he's gone completely black, he's like a ghost now. So it's like he can't physically touch anybody anymore. The only way he can hurt people is by using his cosmic powers. He still has the powers of the cosmic. If he uses ray beams and shit like that, they'll actually hurt people. But he's kind of like a dead man. So he can go into people and he can control people and work with people that way. So that's kind of interesting. But he finds out all these newfound powers basically because of a ship that went through the rift, and he tried to save some people and he couldn't save them. And so that was kind of intense right there. And throughout the issue, he's trying to find out what's going on in the negative zone. Why is the negative zone dying? And he comes across the same thing, this virus, this scourge from the void, and he comes across some of the Revengers, and then by the time we get to the end of it, he comes across what's his name? The Sentry's name. What's his name? God dang it. Robert. Can't remember his last name. The guy that's actually the Sentry himself. So, and he finds out that he's like the Sentry separated from him. So the Sentry is a different being now. And we wind up seeing that Robert is just a regular human being living in the Negativeverse. So that's when Silver Surfer Black teams up with him because he has the knowledge of the Sentry and how to deal with the void. And now Robert has the powers of actually Silver Surfer. So quite interesting. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. And again, it's going to tie into this whole Omega thing. So definitely a great read. I think you guys should pick it up. If you haven't, or maybe when this whole thing comes out in trade and you haven't read any of these one shots, then maybe go ahead and pick them out. I think you guys would like it. So yeah, pretty good stuff. Can't wait for the Omega book to come out. All right, so let's go back to our comments and let's see what's happening here. All right, so I got about 16 new comments. And let's see. Terrific Cup joins the show and he says, hey, what's going on? So welcome. He's back. Tevia says hello again. I saw your earlier comment, Tevia, so welcome back. And Two Gun Pedro is back. Always when the show airs at 1 o'clock, it's morning time for him. So he says good morning. And Comic Corp says morning, Mike and chat. So yeah, you guys are still waking up over there. And I'm in afternoon. I just got done eating some peanut butter and jelly. Vinny says, nice list. Let's go. And It's Hero Time says, have all these only read the indies so far. LOL, I'll stick around for the spoilers. Yes, of course. Sorry, I forgot to mention that there are spoilers. I should create a banner for that to let you guys know that I do talk spoilers. Tevia says, I'm not following Annihilation. That's perfectly fine. Like I said, it probably would be a good book to read in trade. And Tevia says, are we in the 90s? Why? Because it's Annihilation. Annihilation took place in the 2000s. Robert says, hey, what's up? Welcome. And let's see. Tevia goes, because I feel like we're going overboard or overload because of all the comics. Yeah, this week was a huge week in comics this week. I picked up a lot of books, and I also didn't pick up a lot of books. If it was a lighter week, I would have picked up more. I didn't pick up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I didn't pick up Fallen Angels because I wasn't loving it. I didn't pick up New Mutants because I wasn't loving it, because there was all these other books that I wanted to read, and I just didn't have that extra money to go out and buy them, you know? All right. So Tevye says, at first he goes, I thought Century was a good guy. Yeah, he is, but there's another side of him that's quite evil. And Andrew says, love Beta Ray Bill. My favorite of the one-shots so far. I would read a team-up book of Beta Ray Bill and Lockjaw. You know, this could trigger Beta Ray Bill to come back for maybe his own series. Maybe he might appear in Thor again. Who knows? We don't know that, so we'll see what happens. That 90s Surfer cartoon was fantastic. Man, I hated that show. It was so bad. Like, compared to the other superhero shows that were out, like X-Men and like Spider-Man and those ones, like, I didn't like Silver Surfer at all. I think I really didn't appreciate Silver Surfer until I was actually older. All right. It's Hero Time says, that's one per store copy for Red Mother is black and white. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. I like the smaller events like 2099 and Annihilation. Yeah, 2099 is definitely an attainable event. You don't have to sit there and buy, 30 copies of it, or 30 different tie-ins and shit like that. So, yeah, pretty cool. And then Tevia says, I agree. I thought the Silver Surfer animated series was highly underrated. Maybe I might have to go check that out again and see. Is that on Disney Plus or not? I'll have to check that out. I don't remember seeing on it. And it's my boy, Cheetown Bud. That's it. So, he's on. Thanks, guys, for watching. We got about 17 viewers at the moment, so I really appreciate it. Again, share this video, like it, do whatever you can to support the show. It's always appreciated. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about something that more people actually read. But I did want to cover that because it is it is an actual event here. So let's talk about the next one. Another cosmic person. This one is Captain Marvel issue 13, okay? Now, when it came to Captain Marvel issue 13 or 12, we got to see Carol Danvers. She's wearing this crazy-ass suit, and she kills Thor and brings the head to the bad guy. And the bad guy's name in this one is called Vox Supreme. And he killed, like, the Inhumans recently. So that's who this bad guy is, okay? And so I was like, man, what the hell is going on? And so when this book opens up, it has a timeline of T-minus 15 hours. And you get to see Tony Stark, who is actually brushing his teeth, right? And you're like, uh-oh, something's going to happen. Now, the last issue was entirely balls to the walls, like hardcore action, like fighting, and you're just like, damn. And so this book opens up the same way. Here comes Carol. She freaking gets Tony Stark, and you get to see like him being plummeted through his penthouse in the sky. And the next thing you see is he puts on the freaking Iron Man armor and shit. And they start fighting each other. And he's like, Carol, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? And she's like, shut up. Don't talk and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden she like powers up. Okay. And then they go into space and they start battling in space. And then Tony gets all cocky and shit. And the next thing he's like, well, how would you like to fight my Iron Army? And he's about to say it. And she's like, yeah, not today. And she crushes his windpipe. And you're like, what? And then the next thing you see is you get to see her like break his entire armor open in space. And then you get to see him practically dying here. And she flings him out in the middle of oblivion. And you're like, did I just read this right? Like, what is going on? And then what happens is the book reveals the plot, kind of what's happening. And so what happens is she goes up to the character by the name of Singularity. Now, if you guys read A-Force, Singularity is like a cosmic being where she creates her own universe. Like you can go inside of her and no one kind of knows where you're at. So she kind of recruited her for this book, or she knows where she's at. And so what happens then, all of a sudden you come across Thor, who you thought she decapitated, and obviously Iron Man, which you thought who she just flung out into space, but maybe flung out into Singularity's body, and they're alive, okay? And they're protected. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? It couldn't have been that dark, right? Like it couldn't have gone another 2 or 3 issues of her just kicking ass and like taking names and thinking she's gone completely evil. But you wind up seeing the plot, and you wind up seeing that her race is in these camps, and because the planet Hala died and whatnot. And then what happens is you get revealed to our main bad guy, who is Vox Supreme. He is the one that put this crazy suit on her, and he kind of has control over her. Like he can sense what she's doing by hearing her speak, but he can't see what she's doing. So it makes for an interesting plot. So what happens is she is forced to do his bidding. Otherwise, he's going to kill all her Kree people, okay, in those camps. And he actually did it right from the start, in the beginning, okay? And then, so what happens is she winds up going to a SHIELD facility, and we find out, I don't know if you guys are going to be happy about this, that the Avengers at one point were cloned. So I think the people that she's killing is actually clones that she's presenting to Vox Supreme, and she's pretending to kill the other Avengers and putting them in Singularity. And that's what happens there. So will Vox Supreme actually catch on to her little plan? But man, I thought, man, she truly gone, rogue here. So interesting plot. I'm definitely going to continue to read it to see what happens here. But I loved seeing Carol just really take it to the Avengers there. It was pretty dark, and I was like, man, this is great. And then it's like, oh, now we're going to reveal the plot. It's like, shit, dude. I was like, man, that's crazy stuff right there. So, but Captain Marvel's good. I like it now. Kelly Thompson writes it, and it's not boring. It's got a lot of action. There's good interaction between characters and stuff. We got Star from it, and she's getting her own series. So we'll see what happens with it. All right. What do you guys think of Captain Marvel? Did you guys read it or not? So let's check out what we have down at the new comments. And here we go. Let me find it. Never leaves me out. Let's see right here. Yep, it's on Disney Plus. Okay, so we're talking about Silver Surfer being on Disney Plus. So that's cool. So I'll have to check it out again. Hero Time says all the Marvel cartoons are on Disney Plus. my boys are loving X-Men and Spider-Man. I've been watching, you guys know this by now, I have been watching Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I take my kids to school and I have them watch it while we're driving to school. So I put it on my phone and they're watching it and I'm listening to it. And they actually like it. It's a little cheesy for them. Like my son is 12 and he's kind of like, what's this happening? And it's like, oh, really? And I'm like, I try to remind him, I'm like, dude, this was made in like the 80s, okay? Like early 80s. But my daughter likes it and she likes Firestar. And but even there, she kind of questions the corniness from it at times. But once I get done with that, then I'm going to watch the 90s Spider-Man animated series. I really love that one. Tevia is like, Scoundrel Gaming joins the show, says, hi, Mike. How you doing? Finally able to play some video games again. I beat the Spider-Man game in 3 days. That's impressive. I don't have that kind of time anymore. I got to read my comics. Copy Brett says, so is this Captain Marvel basically Dark Phoenix Saga 2.0? No, now you know, right? What's going on in this. She's come up with this ploy to try to beat this person. And I thought maybe it was kind of something like that. Like something took her over completely. Okay. So next, Carrick 2001 says, I'm having Civil War flashbacks. Yeah, and it's not that, though. So now that you guys know what's happening. Andrew says, the panel layouts in Captain Marvel were insanely good. Yeah, I agree. That fight with Tony in the penthouse was pretty neat as she busts through the walls and you get to see going through each wall. I thought that was pretty cool. So, and Tevia said, yeah, so she's not evil. Correct. She's not evil. She's being forced to do something at her, against her will, but she can't not do it because she's wearing this suit that the villain provided for her. Like it's a part of him. So she can't break out of it. Scoundrel saying Avengers were cloned. Yeah, based off of this issue, it looks like we found out that Avengers were cloned at one point in a SHIELD facility in case maybe the Avengers had died or perished. Maybe that's what it was for. 2001 says Avengers, Avengers the Clone Saga. That's right. And yeah, Tevye says clone. Seriously? Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's the way you get around the plot point, right? Is to create a clone. Comic Corpse is on the show. Says, LOL, this is why I read DC. The thing with DC, though, is they may not clone everybody, but they have a shit ton of multiverses. And there's always something in every company, right? That is like they go to their wheelhouse when they're kind of backed into a corner. All right, we're killing off people. Well, they're clones, right? And then it's just like with DC, it's like, oh, something's happening. Well, something different is happening. We're just going to put it in a multiverse. So that's what they do over there. Tevye says, well, not all the cartoons because Spectacular Spider-Man isn't on Disney Plus. Actually, I thought it was on there. I thought I remember seeing it on there. I would have to check again. And Scoundrel Gaming says, when all the Spidey cartoons were on Netflix, I binge watched almost all of them from the 90s and the early 2000s. I remember earlier days of Netflix, and Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends were on there. And because I remember watching it, and then all of a sudden it like disappeared and it wasn't on there anymore. But it's back on there again. All right. So, see, got 23 viewers, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate all the wonderful comments that you guys provide for the show. Makes the show a lot interesting. Again, share it, like it, subscribe to it. Do whatever you need to let us know. Let me know. There's only me. That's all I do. I produce the show. I edit the show, even though there's no editing involved. I record it on a webcam on a Chromebook. It's very low key with this cool background in the back. Let's see. Last comment here. Anything can happen. It's comics. That is correct. It is comics, right? That's what's so great about this hobby, man. Don't take it too seriously. Sometimes we do because we love these characters and we love the way how we started reading them. And sometimes you don't want that to change or you like a particular run, right? But at the end of the day, if you don't want to read that particular story arc or that writer that writes that character, don't read it. Wait for the next character or story arc to, come out, or the next writer, unless you're Bendis who writes forever. Speaking of Bendis, the next book we're going to be talking about, guys, and we'll talk about our topic, Superman issue 18. This is The Secret as Revealed. That's right, fans. Did Superman reveal his identity to the world that he is the reporter known as Clark Kent? And the answer, I'll give you 1 second. If you don't want to see, you can leave now. Okay, time's up. That's right. I had 3 viewers leave just as I said that. The answer is yes. Okay. Superman actually does reveal himself that he is Clark Kent in Superman issue 18. Okay. And he's very nervous about it. And you know what? I had dropped this series a while back because I was tired of how stalled this series was. I didn't like it. It just wasn't for me, right? Also, Ivan Rice does the artwork in the book, but the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. But when I heard about this book, I was like, oh, I gotta actually pick it up, okay? And so what happens in this particular issue is that he makes an announcement right from the start, okay? And you're just like, okay, here we go. He's going to say it. And then it just teases you. And it's like, oh, shit. It's like, okay, we got to talk. We got to talk to Adam Strange. We got to talk about how he's contemplating about his secret and if he's going to tell the world. But you know what? It really wasn't that boring. It was actually quite interesting, their conversation. And it was like he went to a friend and he was trying to get advice. And it was good. Okay. Now, the moments that really struck me in this particular issue here was when Clark Kent goes into the Daily Bugle, okay? And when it comes to the Daily Bugle, he uses his superpowers to test Perry's heart to see if once he reveals something to him that he's not going to have a heart attack and die. So he goes in, he undoes his tie, okay? And the next thing you wind up seeing is that he winds up, here's the panel right here, and he winds up revealing himself to Perry, and he's standing up, and then he just falls back in his chair, and he can't believe it, but then he hugs Clark. And it's just like, wow, that's a really powerful moment, and how Perry embraced that was amazing. And I really like that. And see, this is the kind of writing that I really enjoy when Bendis writes properly, for me at least. Like when it's like so emotionally driven. And this is why Bendis is a good writer. This is why he gets all these books. This is why, because he knows how to write books like this. And I wish there was more of them like this, emotionally driven, okay? And then what happens is once he gets done with Perry, he winds up going to Jimmy. And he tells Jimmy, but Jimmy's like acting all dumb. You know what I'm saying? And he's acting all dumb. And he's like, well, just kidding. He's like, I already knew. And you're like, what? But Lois actually told him. Okay. So yeah, it was pretty funny. Okay. And it was good. I mean, it was really good. And then you get to the moment where he actually announces to the world about him being Superman and how his parents raised him, how to be a good person and to do all those wonderful things. Okay. And it was great. And then he winds up taking off. And you know who else reads the broadcast? Well, it's Lex Luthor and the Legion of Doom. And Brainiac says, well, now what? Now what do we do, Lex Luthor? And you're just like, oh, damn. So supposedly, I think this gave something away in the Justice League, but I don't read the Justice League. I'm waiting to jump back on that when Robert Venditti comes on and, on board. And so, but I really like this book. This is the Brian Michael Bendis writing that I love. Okay. I don't like when he stalls stories and, just doesn't give anything away. And I was afraid of that here and whatnot, but he really did a great job with it. And you're just like, okay, well, now what? Okay. Hold on 1 second, guys. I got my father-in-law texting me. All right. So what'd you guys think of that? Let me know in the comments below. All right. So let's see our comments. Let me find them here. All right. Sorry, everybody. All right. Let's see. Trying to find those comments. All right. Here we go. Streaming wars, LOL. Companies, we want your money. Interconnected universe, LOL. That's talking about Disney Plus. Okay. I'm super happy The Flash is officially happening after being in development. Heck, it comes out 2022, July 1st, directed by Andy. Can't say that name, and I cannot wait any longer. I'm pumped. I miss my Superman family so much. Yeah, well, that's definitely changed. Sorry, guys. And my father-in-law picks up my kids, and so he's trying to figure out if it's raining there or not. All right, next. Scoundrel Gaming says, who's stupid spelling error? Okay. And Andrew says, the scene between Clark and Perry was outstanding. Absolutely. I would say that for me, like, that is one of the panels of the year, because it's just like, think about how close he is to Perry every single day, and Perry never even realized that, right? And being that he's Superman on top of it, and he's always been protecting them, it's awesome. IMJ says, what's up, guys? Just jumped on. Thank you. And love your shows. I really appreciate it. Sorry if I felt distracted there. I'm just trying to work out arrangements for my kids to be picked up at school. Tevia says, not for me. So you didn't like that particular issue, Tevia? And Scoundrel Gaming says, what are good Michael Bendis comics? I know about the Phoenix stuff, but other stuff that he did. I know really good stuff that he wrote was like maybe his early Avengers run in Marvel, and then Ultimate Comics universe for Marvel, like Ultimate Spider-Man. He really did a great job on that. And yeah, it's good stuff. So you might want to check out that. He did X-Men in the past. So he's done stuff like that. All right. Carrick says, why are we doing this again? Wasn't Superman identity revealed at the end of the New 52 at the time? I think it was called DCU. It just doesn't seem that far ago. I did think Bendis did good. So did that really stick? I don't even remember him revealing his identity at the end of New 52. I don't quite remember that. But nevertheless, I think the way it was done here, I enjoyed it. And once I get done through these comments, I'm going to ask, we're going to talk about our topic. Bendis, in my opinion, has ruined everything with the Superman family. And frankly, this is the final nail in the coffin. After everything he has done to my boy, John Kent, Superboy, and the awful events, Leviathan. Now, do I agree with the stories maybe that he has written for Superman? No, I don't like it because it's just we had a Superman family and that's been broken up. And, I currently don't like that direction. So that's why I didn't read it again. But as a single issue, you can see the impact that Brian Michael Bendis can make on a reader when it's done correctly or written in a fashion. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the identity being revealed, do we actually need that? Do you like Superman having his identity revealed? Do you think that Superman needs a secret identity? Bendis said Naomi book was entertaining too. Yes. And he does write those young characters really well, like Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, like Miles Morales. He wrote them the best. Things like that. I think it was really, really well done. So, yeah. Technically, this isn't a new idea because we've done this before and it didn't work and it won't work for this time either. Okay. We do a lot of things in comics all the time that is repetitive. We see it all the time. We see multiple story arcs that have been done or redone. It happens all the time. And it's hard to, it's hard sometimes to come up with original stuff. But what's going to be the twist here? Will it stay? Stay. Let's see. MVS says, finally made it to a live stream. Enjoying your videos. Thanks. Thank you, MVS, for that support. So, again, I'm going to ask you guys, do you think this is a good thing for Superman that he revealed his identity? In my opinion, I feel like it's absolutely fine, okay, that he revealed his identity. I think his identity is stupid, okay? I believe that he should be Clark and Superman, and people should know that. Because if you can't tell he's Clark Kent, you're dumb, okay? It's like, again, you're Perry. You work with him every single day. You can't tell me that the dude, just with glasses on, can't sit there and go, you know what? That guy's Superman. Huh, let me look at a picture of Superman. Let me look at a picture of Clark Kent. Right? I mean, so it's just, in today's comics, I feel like the secret identity thing needs to go. I don't say it needs to go completely away, but it's outdated. We don't really need it anymore. Superman is a super character. He can stop anything, anyone at any time. He's the strongest being. And it's just like, oh, I don't want to hide my identity so no one gets hurt. Like, you can stop anybody. You can kill anybody. You can do whatever you want, So it's just weird. Spider-Man, he's in a completely different mask. He's like completely covered. So it's like, it's a little bit different, but with new heroes, it's just like, you really don't need a secret identity. People know Captain Marvel as Carol Danvers, right? People know other characters like Captain America, Steve Rogers. Like, they know these guys, they know their identity. So we don't need Superman to be hidden anymore. He doesn't need that. So that's my take on it. Again, I'm curious to see what you guys actually feel on it too. I'm curious to see what will happen. See, 2001 here. He says something will be done. It will be done eventually. Probably just have to wait and see how it goes. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't. Anything could happen in comics. His mind could be wiped. Brainiac could destroy it. Lex Luthor goes after him. He gets amnesia like freaking Dick Grayson does. It could be anything that happens. Scoundrel says, I learned very quickly that when you love buying and reading comics, when I went to my shop, we were just looking. I had buying problems. LOL. Still do. LOL. And Tevia says, Superman needs a secret identity because it's like Clark said in Superman, the animated series, he would go crazy if he's Superman 24/7. Well, that's his problem. And the animated series is a show that happened a long time ago. This is today. This is right now. He is Superman 24/7. He does nothing but watch the world. If you have superpowers, that's what you do, man. You got to watch it. That's not an excuse. He has a responsibility. As Spider-Man would say, great power comes great responsibility. There's no escaping it. Clark and Superman, they're the same guy. Rob joins the show. He says, sorry, at work, can't hear or stay. Enjoy y'all. Stay cool, Mike. Thanks, Rob. Hopefully you can catch next show. 2001 says, let's just hope Superman doesn't have one more day. Well, that might actually happen. What about Batman? He has his secret identity. That's true. But Batman in The Curse of the White Knight, his secret identity has been revealed. So there's something there for you as well. So again, and Bruce Wayne is a real famous person, like a ton of money. But again, I think they could get away with it too. You know, Superman's vulnerability is the people close to him. Exactly right. That is true. You can say that to any superhero that is close to them. That his vulnerability. But you know, again, I just don't feel that he really truly needs it. He can still be Superman and Clark Kent and still protect the people close to him. You know, I really do think so. You know, he's at the Daily Bugle. He's right there. He can stop him. He can hear anything. Just think about his power set, you know? So I don't know if it's necessary. Clark Kent is Clark Kent before Superman. Bruce Wayne is Batman before Bruce Wayne. So, but yeah, what do you guys think about that secret identity trope thing? You know, do we need to start getting away from it more? Do you feel like we need to do it at the right time, or maybe not, you know, where we get to reveal certain heroes, you know, and things like that? So I'm just curious what you guys think about that whole thing. But for me, I didn't have a problem with it here. I actually liked it. You know, not everyone's going to agree with it, and that's okay. I'm actually fine with that. Because everyone's opinionated, you know, and it's perfectly fine. So we'll see where it goes from there. All right, so that was Superman. Okay, next is, what are we going to talk about next? Let's go to our banners, and we're going to talk about, oh yeah, this one. The Red Mother, issue 1, okay? I just got to find the issue because I lost it. Here we go. So the Red Mother, issue 1. Check out this creepy cover, man. It is a fake eyeball. It gets inserted into her, and something goes horribly wrong by the time you get to the end of this issue. So what's this comic about? So this one's done by Boom Studios, and Boom's doing a really great job. You know, people are loving their, you know, their Power Ranger stuff, and they love the crossover between TMNT and Power Rangers. And they've done what's it called? The Excalibur book. I can't think of it at the moment. It's at the top of my head, but they've done a great job. And when it comes to this particular series, we have this character by the name of Daisy. Okay, and she has a relationship with a guy named Luke. It's not Luke Skywalker, but it's Luke. And what happens is there's this horrible mugging. Okay, where Luke goes missing. He's taken away, and our main character by the name of Daisy gets her eye taken out in this mugging, in this process. Okay, and that's how it opens up, and then it goes to this like red page. The art is really well done. I love the characters' facial expressions in this book. And the next thing you wind up seeing is she wakes up in the hospital. We wind up seeing that the police are investigating, trying to figure out where Luke's at. And we wind up seeing that she's got this big scar. You know, obviously her eye is gone. And we get to see her dealing with her trying to get back to normal everyday life without her boyfriend and whatnot. And she gets inserted with a prosthetic eye and things like that. And so it's really hard for her. She tries to meet up with her friend by the name of Perry, and she can't really talk about what's going on. Something triggers something in her mind, and all of a sudden she sees red. Okay. And it's very painful for her. So she's on a lot of medication. She tries to see a therapist about what's going on. And the therapist thinks, you know, could be because of a lot of stress and the situation that's happened, your eye trying to adjust the prosthetic eye. And then she's like, you know what? She's like, I feel like maybe I'm getting somewhere. I'm seeing this therapist. I think things are going to get better. And just as she does that, all of a sudden she gets this like incredible migraine, right? And all of a sudden she starts seeing red. And you get to see all the people in there, and you get to see this image from afar, and it's a person, and it's like a person that's like a skeleton shadow creature like thing, and it comes right up in front of her face, and she screams in pain, and she's bleeding from that prosthetic eye. And that's what this creature looks like. And you're just like, what? And then when you're done reading this book, you're kind of just like, oh my gosh, like this is intense. Like, and I want to read more. And you're just like, but it just ends, and you're just like, shit, and you don't know what to do, and you're like, fuck, and you're like, but it was good. There's so much mystery behind it, man, and you're just like, well, what's going to happen? Who's this creature? Why is she seeing this red thing? Like, what's taking over her? There's just so much involved in this book, and I really enjoyed it. This definitely surprised me. And I'm going to have to officially put it on my list because I just bought it off the rack. So I was like, well, we'll see what happens with it. So I definitely recommend this book to you guys. This is a great setup issue. Definitely check it out. All right. So next we have some comments here. Let's see. Tevia, who got aged up because of bullshit? How is he going to explain? Oh, it's about his son. Let's see. Scoundrel Gaming says, I love Doom Patrol. I'm going to buy that comic series. The TV show is great. Damage Control is classic, man. Tevye says the secret identity thing works for some characters, not all of them. And see, I agree with that. I think some you may need it and some you don't. At Tevye, Smoker agreed wholeheartedly. All right. Oh, I missed this one. I've heard Red Mother has potential, though. Yes, it definitely has potential. Let people know it exists out there, guys. So it stays around. Tevye says, example, Spidey should reveal his identity to his loved ones like Aunt May. Heck, he revealed his identity to JJ and Mary Jane. Why not Aunt May again? I agree with that, Tevye. I think Aunt May should know that Peter is Spider-Man, especially at this point, and the whole J. Jonah thing, that was fine too. And if it's the selected few people, that's great, that are close to you, you should know that, revealing it to everybody, I don't know. But I think to Aunt May, I think definitely makes sense. Scoundrel says, hey, Mike, you excited for Christmas? LOL. I love Christmas. LOL. I get to hang out with the people I love. Yeah, absolutely. I am totally excited for Christmas, and everyone else should. At Tevye, this is what 2001 says. Agreed 100%. JMS had that happen, and it was amazing. Then one more day happens. Yes, one more day did happen, and that was definitely a problem. Gonna have to hunt down Red Mother issue 1. Hope it stays strong instead of petering out like Kanto did, which unfortunately lost steam as it lost print run. LOL. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So yeah, pick this one up. I mean, it's still a lot to unravel here. So I think this book could be a really good mystery type of book, and it's maybe like a supernatural type of book. And I like the originality that Boom is coming out with their stuff. So great company right now. All right, so the next book, let's see what we're going to talk about. That's on tab for today is Symbiote Spider-Man, Alien Reality. This is issue 1. So this is the follow-up to Symbiote Spider-Man. So this was a actual pretty good book as well. And it says Alien Reality because it's what happens in this is that Spider-Man goes into like an alternate reality, but we don't quite know how it happened, okay? And let me explain. This book is written by Peter David, and it's done by Craig Land. So this book is pretty interesting. So what happens is we get to see an Avengers jet crash in Siberia like years ago, and Doctor Strange is behind it. He picks up this particular case. Black Widow was actually with him as well, and Strange says there's certain things that you can't handle, Natasha, and that basically ends that whole conversation. Okay, so the next thing we wind up seeing is Kraven does battle against Spider-Man, and he's in the symbiote suit. If you read the first series, you know that he's acquired this suit, and these are all things that take place in timelines that we've never even seen before, okay? And so we get to see this big battle drawn out, and what happens is Spider-Man winds up being knocked out somehow, okay? And the next thing you wind up seeing is he wakes up, and everything's changed, okay? It's like Kraven the Hunter is like this good guy. He's wearing like this little safari hat, and he has this bandana with paws on it. And he's like, I'm your partner, Spider-Man. He's like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, you're freaking fucking with me, you know? And so he's like, yeah, no. He's like, yeah, we're friends. We're buddies. And he's like, I got to get out of here. So then what happens in this issue is he's the Spider-Mobile. And so he can't use his webbing. He can't get out. It's like it's all messed up or whatever. So he uses the Spider-Mobile to actually drive. And then the next thing you wind up seeing is like, oh, who's there? Oops, sorry. Who's there? Is that the Black Cat? And you're like, okay. But if something's messed up, it's not the Black Cat. So firsthand, who does it look like? Okay. My initial first thought here was, dude, it's Mary Jane. She's the Black Cat. That's what I thought. I'm like, that's hot, right? It's like my two favorite characters from Spider-Man, like supporting characters mixed into one. No, that's not the case. We wound up finding out that it's Natasha and they're lovers. That's right. And so Peter's like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, I am out of here. I have to leave. And so he goes to Doctor Strange because he knows that something's not right. Well, there's no Doctor Strange. The person that's in charge now is freaking the Hobgoblin. So it's because of the Hobgoblin that this stuff is all messed up. And Hobgoblin goes after him and chases him and tries to fight him. And then what happens is he takes off because he couldn't fight. He just takes off because he couldn't find him and whatnot. And the next thing we wind up seeing is that Strange he's no longer Doctor Strange. He's just a bum on the street. And he says, well, I got some tricks up my sleeve, but I need some food first. So yeah, so everything's weird and completely different reality, and it's just all messed up. And so yeah, it was really a lot of fun, man. I liked it. I thought it was great. I'm curious to see like what other characters are going to be mishmashed, and again, it's one of these series that you can't take it seriously because it takes time and like a different time frame, and it's a different story, and it's not in current continuity. And so I liked it. It was good, and it got good artwork with Greg Land, and Peter David is the writer. So I don't think you guys, could go wrong with that if you wanted to check that particular one out. All right, let's see. We got a few comments here. Let's see. Scoundrel Gaming says, I hope that comics exist for the next 80 years. I hope so too. I think they'll always exist in some way, form, or fashion. Will it always be on paper? I don't know. Will the medium last if it's not on paper? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Tevia says, wait, that's still continuing? I thought we were done with Symbiote Spider-Man. It's another volume of it, Tevia. This is volume 2. I am only so confused. John Cortez says, wasn't that impressed with that when Spider-Man is starting to sound more like Deadpool? Yeah, again, it's a different type of story, different timeline. So again, when it comes to Spider-Man, right, there's always going to be characters that have a shit ton of books. X-Men, Deadpool, Spider-Man. They're always going to have a shit ton of books because those are the books that make the company money. It's like DC has Batman, right? They're going to publish anything that has Batman, Joker, freaking Harley Quinn. That's just their money makers. That's their go-to. That's their cash cow. They're going to keep doing it. All right. Let's see. IMJ says, good reviews and great conversation, guys. Thank you. Back to work for me. Hope to chat with you guys again. Thank you for joining the show, IMJ. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you can catch the end later. Andrew says, I love the way Doctor Strange looks in the book and how can you not love the Spidey Mobile? It makes very few appearances and it makes it here. All right. Greg Land doesn't he trace? He takes computer images, I think, from like shows or photography, and he's been known to use like expressions from porn stars and stuff like that, or magazines. So I think he is inspired by those images and kind of uses a similar fashion to it. Yes. But it doesn't matter. It still looks cool. New question. Do you think the Ultimate Marvel Universe is going to come back soon? It was teased in Venom issue 20 with Reed that maybe it could come back. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. So thank you for the viewers that are still on. We got 21 viewers right now. Again, guys, anytime if you want to give this video a like and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated. All right. So the next book we're going to be talking about, guys, and we got two more left to talk about. This is Batman. This is The Curse of the White Knight. This is book 5. So we're getting to see the ramifications here of what's happening with Commissioner Gordon's death. Okay. And basically in this particular issue, there's a lot of tensions that happen with Commissioner Gordon and Batman and all that kinds of other stuff. And so what happens here is Batman goes to Harley and says to Harley, you need to get to Jack Napier. Okay. You need to get him out. Show him the kids. He's still in there. He's still trying to reach out to me in certain ways. So go to this cell, reach out to the kids, find out any information so we can find Azrael and all this other kind of stuff. So Harley was really good in this book, okay? And so she winds up succeeding in that. She brings out Napier. And what happens is they wind up going after him. And on the other side of the story, we wind up seeing Azrael where his deal is being cut. Okay, where it's like, okay, that's it. It's done. There's no more. It's like when you were going to quietly become Batman, that's a different story. But now you're terrorizing the streets. You're killing people. And the deal was cut. So what happens is whoever was in charge or taking care of Azrael, this woman right here, she cuts off the funding and all that other stuff. And she hires Bane to try to kill him. And so right when Bane was about to break Azrael's back, his little crony helps him out, and he winds up succeeding in beating Bane. Not only does he beat him, but he chops off his freaking neck. And you're just like, wow, that's intense right there. And this guy's dying of cancer, man. So that's intense stuff right there. And so we wind up seeing Batman go to Arkham, and he winds up getting the Joker. I guess he's getting the Joker out of jail or whatever the case may be. And then, oh, no, it wasn't the Joker. I'm sorry. They wound up leaving. It's not Batman. It was Azrael in this new Batman suit because he thinks he is the true Batman, and he's going after the Joker. So that's how it wound up ending out. And this is the way he looks now. And I'm like, man, that's pretty freaking cool. I'm like, that is awesome. So I really, really enjoyed that one. And yeah, it was great stuff. So this book doesn't disappoint, man. Not a lot of maybe shock factor in this one, but really, really good. Well written, great paced book. Hopefully you guys are still actually reading that series. All right. So let's see what we have. Grandpa is on the show. He says hello. Thank you, Grandpa. And Scoundrel says, did you see Brazil Comic-Con? It was awesome. I saw the live stream. It was really interesting. I didn't even know they had a Brazil Comic-Con. So thank you for letting me know. Scoundrel says, oh, I love Batman. LOL. I got to buy that one too. Yeah, that whole series is really good. I definitely suggest buying the whole thing. And Carrick 2001 says, this book made me go, wow, like 3 times. The book is just surprising. I really enjoy it. Overall story is awesome. And I think I actually like this one better than the first one. Believe it or not, I think it's great. And then Azrael I shouldn't be surprised. Yes, absolutely. All right. And then last but not least, guys, the last one of the day, and then I got to wrap it up. We're talking about X-Force. This is issue 3, right? So which one is your favorite X book as of right now? You guys already know. I told you I dropped Fallen Angels. I dropped New Mutants. And then it looks like I'm dropping Excalibur. And I'm leaving Marauders, X-Force, and the X-Men title. Those seem to be my particular favorites when it comes to this X book stuff or this X-Men stuff. So when it comes to X-Force in this particular issue, we wind up getting to see how Domino got tortured a little bit, and it's quite dark, okay? And we get to see how these these beings were created, these superhumans. In the beginning of the issue, we wound up seeing them that way, and how they were going to invade Krakoa and all that kind of other stuff. And then we go to the point of Quentin Quire and Wolverine as they rescue Domino, and she is just in rough shape, man. And so they got to escape this big monster that's chasing after them and escape the facility, and then they got to go back to Krakoa. And then later on in this issue, we see Jean and Beast go with Cerebro, and we find out that it only took one issue, and then what happened is, there we have it. We have Professor Xavier, who is back, and he goes out to the world and he says, nothing's happened. I'm perfectly fine. They don't tell anybody about the assassination. It's just like nothing has ever happened. And so what happens, by the time we get to the end of this book, we wind up seeing this main antagonist, and it looks like their name is Xeno, and they're going to be going after the mutants. That's pretty much all that happened in the book. So there wasn't, like I said, a lot that happened, but we wound up getting a ton of, people being like, oh, it's Xavier dead and blah, 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 blah. But nope, he's back. So it only took one issue without Xavier being in it to come back and, be the ruler of Krakoa again. So, of course, once you're dead in comics, you never stay dead. This is almost just like cloning, right? It's just resurrection. So, yeah, crazy stuff here. Quite interesting. We'll see where X-Force goes. I really liked it. I like the series. It's a lot of fun, in my opinion. So let's see. Scoundrel says, last one, no, LOL. Yeah, I could sit here all day, but yeah, no. Tevia says, X-Force is so cool. And Scoundrel also says that I love X-Force as well. So yeah, guys, great bunch of comics. I showed you, 8 or 9 books this time. I usually do 5 or 6 because it was a heavy week. And yeah, and there you have it. And I have a lot more still to read. I have about 10 or 11 more books to read this week. But these were the ones that you guys requested, and I picked a couple of my own. So again, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the show. I had a great time bringing it to you. We'll do one more next week before the end of the year happens, and then I'll sign off for a couple of weeks and come back in 2020 real strong to continue the series. So again, guys, if you like this video series or this live stream, again, like, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell anytime. Super chats, they're more than welcomed also. You guys are awesome. Happy holidays. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on that next video. And if you missed it, enjoy it. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.